Hey Blue Table fans, today we're going to take a look at some 3D printed models. These are caught from a series called Scourgelands, and like a lot of 3D printed sets, they can be purchased individually or as a whole collection. Now, I bought mine off of Etsy, and by the way, I'm really impressed. I really love them. They're absolutely fantastic. Can't wait to paint them. Nothing but good things to say. Now, first off, this is a regular 28mm figure from Deep Cuts. So this is sort of a standard scale. So these guys, they're noticeably bigger. You'll notice the base size is the same. They're 25mm bases. And they're probably 32mm heroic scale. Like, these guys stand up against Primaris Marines, basically. I love them. Absolutely not a problem with them, with the scale. And let's see here. First off, this set, I think it's called Scourgeland Survivors. I'll put it in the liner notes, what it actually is. And the cool thing about 3D prints is they usually print off a base. And why not? They have these really cool decorative bases. And I really like that. And there's no reason that you can't just get regular plastic Games Workshop bases. Now, I thought initially that this set came with 2 extra figures, but they don't. These are actually alternative riders for this thing called a battle prawn. Awesome. Supposedly they live in these things like a tunnel. I guess a tunnel goes down. Now, it was hard to tell in the pictures how big this thing was. I really wish they would put scale notations in there, something for reference, like put a penny in the picture. But this piece is really cool. I'm really excited. I'd love to get a bunch of these done up and to different sizes and make like a whole infested web of tunnels or tunnel entrances. That'd make for a great scenario. So for the battle prawn, it has 4 spiky limbs that just barely hit the edge of this base, and that was really hard to glue on, so I put this rod in there, and that holds him up really well. And it also allowed me to lift up the front and make this guy look like he was leaping. And I absolutely love this figure. It's very evocative. Got these really cool chitinous scales on it. And, excuse me, the guys can ride it here. And that's what those 2 riders were for. Like, I was like, wow, there's nothing sculpted there. What's going on with that? Yeah, it's because it was for that. So anyway, so a couple extra figures. That was really nice. And this base is really super cool. If I had one tiny itty bitty little nitpick, is that they sort of don't make it perfectly round. I'm sure that's on purpose, but I don't know. It would have been cooler if it were perfectly round. But anyway, now let me just crow on and on about these figures. These things are insane, so evocative, so much great detail. And like, look at that shield. That is just too cool. This just makes me really excited. I cannot wait to paint these guys. I'm going to do earth tones and some really dark blackish blue as a light dark contrast. You've got this guy, and there were extras. So this guy could have had a hand crossbow, or he could have had a, just a closed fist or an open hand. Different options for different things. This guy did actually come with 2 swords, and that's cool. I decided to use this pistol thing. The pistol doesn't go out straight, so I tried to compensate for that by making his one leg up. This guy's an archer, really cool. His hand is really awesome. It looks like he's just loosed an arrow. He came with an extra piece, this little quiver there. Most of them are just the 2 hands and the base connected to the main body. But all these poses are so evocative, and they've got cool helmets, and there's just so many great things about this. And I'm over the moon about 3D printing. This is really, really cool. I love the marketplace for this is like awesome. And what I paid for this, for all these pieces, there are, excuse me, oh, and it comes with this little larva. I think this is supposed to go on a different base. He didn't have a base. I, of course, have a ton of extra bases on hand. So let's see here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 models, including this little larva thing, plus the battle prawn, plus the little terrain piece, plus the two riders, which by the way, you could use different weapons on these and like repose them and really get an extra couple of figures out of here. Now, this was all, including tax and shipping, this was only $38. And I don't know how these 3D printing places are making any money. I think what's happening is they're losing money on labor, incidental labor, and then they don't consider it. They're like, oh, well, I guess that obviously, I made $10, but you have to consider bagging it up and stuff. Anyway, this came with a huge amount of baggies. Like every single model had 2 baggies at least. It had a baggie for the main body and then a baggie for all the extra pieces, and they were stapled together like that. And by the way, thanks for the baggies, because I use those for my things too. They are, and it was just packaged so well, so amazingly well. I just couldn't get over it. It's really done well. And these little Etsy shops or Thingiverse shops, they are doing a really amazing job. You get a huge amount of bang for your buck. It's really outstanding. And so I'm going to paint these up, see how they paint up. As far as I can tell, they've got just the same amount of detail as as plastic models. And they are a zillion times faster to put together, which is really nice. All right, well, that's my review of these Scourgeland figures. And I'm really excited. I can't wait to paint them. I'm doing them up for an event at Valhalla this year, October 2021, and it's going to be really cool. All right, thanks for tuning in, and I know you got your inspiration for the day. Yeah.